Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Crypto industry leaders are meeting today to push for the Bitcoin Act. According to a list shared with CNBC by digital asset advocacy group, the Digital Chamber, 18 industry members are gathering in Washington today to discuss the bill, including Strategy's Michael Saylor, BitMine and Fundstrat's Tom Lee, and Marathon Digital CEO Fred Thiel. The bill, which was introduced by Republican lawmakers, Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming and Representative Nick Begich of Alaska, aims to codify President Trump's strategic Bitcoin reserve with law. The president signed an executive order back in March, creating both a Bitcoin reserve as well as a separate digital asset stockpile.
Hey, what's going on, Bull Runners? Welcome back to the channel. Ryan Huggins here, aka Win with Ryan. Imagine this, your hard-earned savings quietly melting away as the United States dollar just crossed that 10% loss mark this year alone, fueled by skyrocketing deficits and trade tension that no one's talking about enough. It's like watching your money vanish into thin air, one inflation tick at a time, leaving you wondering if the system's rigged against everyday folks like us. But what if I told you there's a hidden shift happening right now, one that could flip the script before it's too late? Today, as the House gears up to slam the door on CBDCs in a major market structure bill, potentially shielding us from the even more government overreach, with billions in XRP commitments signaling a massive price rebound on the horizon, crypto isn't just an escape, it's the smart play to protect and grow what you've got. Stick around because the next few minutes, we're gonna break down why these moves matter. Plus, we'll be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news in the financial world today. US House is gonna consider a retroactive CBDC ban. We're gonna be doing a deeper dive into the XRP futures open interest. $2.78 billion XRP is committed right now. We'll check in on the XRP exchange reserve supply shock. Is it happening? Is XRP leaving the exchanges? Plus, we'll head over to the charts and we're going to be taking a look at the important levels of support and resistance that you need to know about right now. Plus, we'll be taking a look at our long-term and short-term momentum waves and so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day doing crypto research like we do for you every day on this channel, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you are still feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. First off, let's head over to CoinMarketCap, check out the overall health of the crypto market. As you can see, we are trading at $4.05 trillion. We are up 1% today, and it is on the back of $143 billion worth of trading volume in the last 24 hours. Fear and Greed Index is coming in at 51. We are still in that neutral zone. Altcoin Season Index still stuck in the 70 level. We'd love to see that break above 75. We're currently sitting at 71 out of 100.
Do you love crypto, but are you worried about taxes shrinking your retirement nest egg? Here's the deal. Trading and selling crypto can trigger capital gains taxes, eating into your wealth. A crypto IRA fixes that. Per IRS publication 590B, traditional IRA gains like those from crypto aren't taxed until distributed. That's why we've partnered with iTrust Capital, a leading crypto IRA company in the USA, to sponsor today's video. And they offer institutional grade custody for retail clients that want to set up their crypto IRAs for retirement, leveraging top storage solutions like Fidelity, Wells Fargo, and Coinbase Prime to keep your assets secure. To get started, simply click the link in the description of this video, sign up for free, and fund your account with cash. They also offer 401k rollovers or crypto transfers, and you can trade 24/7 with just 1% transaction fees and no maintenance costs. As always, I'm not a CPA or financial advisor, so consult one for tax advice, and we do earn a commission if you sign up using our link below to fund your crypto IRA account, but that helps support value-based videos like this. And iTrust Capital already has over 200,000 crypto IRA accounts and over $14 billion in transactions, proving they're trusted by smart investors just like you. So click the link below, get started now by funding your account today, and let's create generational wealth together.
Bitcoin dominance continues to trade sideways at this point, 57.5. Will we see a break below 57%? Bitcoin ETF tracker, we got the final report from yesterday, $259 million worth of inflows. No report as of yet for today. Checking in on the ETF tracker, we got $359 million worth of inflows yesterday. No report as of today. That is a fantastic start to the week. As we see right here, last week there was $623 billion worth of inflows, and we're already at $359 159 for this week. Top 6 cryptos by total market cap. Number 1, Bitcoin at 116,600. Ethereum number 2 at 4,500. XRP at number 3 at $3.03. Tether at number 4 at $1. BNB at number 5 at $959. Solana at number 6 at 236. We've had a back and forth battle between 5 and 6 here as far as market cap goes. BNB currently sitting at 133 billion. Solana right behind it at 128 billion. Heading over to Forex Factory, looking at the financial news that you need to know about. We have a deal on TikTok. Trump's post, we have a deal on TikTok. Have confidence in everybody in the administration. Trump also says Zelensky is going to have to make a deal. Europe has to stop buying oil from Russia. And the problem is NATO and EU countries are buying Russian oil. Red folder news that you need to know about this week. Core retail sales came out positive, ladies and gentlemen. This is good month over month. They were forecast for 0.4%, came out at 0.7. Retail sales, 0.2, came out at 0.6. Tomorrow is the biggest news day of the entire year. Federal funds rate, will we finally get that reduction? It is forecasted to be a 25 basis point reduction, which is 0.25%. Will we see a larger rate cut? Check in tomorrow. We'll let you know. Then on Thursday, we have unemployment claims coming out, 241,000 estimated. Will it be larger? With XRP holding strong above $3, the leading altcoin flashing bullish signals in major on-chain metrics, data from CoinGlass shows that XRP has maintained a steady movement in the open interest over the last day. While investors show optimism regarding XRP's short-term potential, it appears that they may be exercising caution in futures activities, as no notable changes have been recorded in this on-chain metric over the last day. Notably, the data shows that the amount of tokens committed to the XRP futures market has increased by only 0.49% in the last 24 hours, standing at $2.78 billion as of writing. As we take a look at the futures flows in the last 24 hours, there's been an inflow of $1.4 billion and an outflow of $1.47 billion, with a net inflow of negative $73.6 million. Now, when we do hop over here to XRP's futures open interest on CoinGlass, we can see right now where we are sitting is at a total open interest of $8.47 billion, with XRP price sitting at $3.04. And the green here is open interest. So you can see we've been climbing in open interest since June of 2025, June 22nd. And we really surged up before that most recent peak on July 21st. We were chopping sideways for quite some time. Then on September 6th, we made a nice move to the upside. On September 13th, capping that out, we got all the way up to $8.95 billion in open interest. As we take a look at XRP volume as well, we're going to go ahead and shrink the timeline. We can see we are definitely on decreasing volume as a whole. So we are starting that consolidation phase, but we do know what is going to be happening in just a couple of days. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. The ETF is launching. That should increase the amount of incoming volume for XRP. And it is important to note that the open interest measures the volume of futures contracts yet to close on XRP. So currently, investors have left over $8.48 billion worth of XRP futures contracts, signaling continued confidence and further upside potential. With that first US XRP ETF set to go live this week, investors remain confident that XRP is still on track for the long anticipated $3.60 breakout price discovery mode loading. Further data showcased by the source shows that BitGet users account for 21% of the total open interest, marking the highest share across all supported exchanges. And this was followed by Binance and CME holding 15 and 14 respectively. And we could take a look at that right here with the XRP markets, the futures market. We can actually sort by total volume, open interest volume right here, and we'll sort from highest to lowest. We can see BitGet is the number one at $1.42 billion in open interest. Gate.io has $1 billion. Binance has $1 billion. And just below $1 billion, we have Bybit at $985 million. And then everything kind of dwindles off from there. And when we take a look at spot data, not leverage trading, we have XRP spot inflow, outflow. As you can see, XRP holders have continued to remove their coins from exchanges. You can see down to the red, that is people actually outflowing their coins off of exchanges. You can see these spikes of green, people are starting to take some profit in these levels here. That was when price of XRP was only at $2.80. But as of recently, we can see some pretty heavy net outflow here. How about $67 million worth of outflow on September 12th? And then on September 13th, $39 million. And then on the 14th, $66 million. And then on the 15th, there was an inflow of $9.78 million. Another very important metric to look at is the exchange reserve. So where are these coins going right now? Well, Upbit does not have very much coinage left on their exchange. You can see right now, they're actually sitting at 5.8 billion XRP left. They've dwindled down from when they were up in these levels of 6.6 billion. Lots of XRP flying off of their exchange during that extreme price rise from the 55 cent levels. However, when we check in other exchanges such as Binance, they're sitting on 3.6 billion tokens. Bitfinex is currently loading up on XRP, but they have a very small bag, 148 million. And remember, we talked about Upbit coming to the downside, but again, they do have 5.8 billion in their exchanges. We take a look at KuCoin. They're currently sitting at 81 million on exchange. And as we saw with Gate.io, we see that their leverage volume was one of the highest out there total. Well, they've just recently had an extreme spike to the upside for flows to their exchange. They're accumulating for some reason. They're currently sitting at 67 million, but they were holding only 32 million as of recently, August 30th. And going back to CoinGlass, as you remember, it was BitGet, Gate.io, then Binance as far as the most amount of open interest. And if we take a look at BitGet right now, they're only holding 132 million tokens as opposed to 3 billion from Binance and 67 million on Gate.io. Now, when we check in on other tokens such as Ethereum, we can actually check not just by simple single exchanges, we can actually do all exchanges for Ethereum, and they are continuing to drop to all-time lows as far as exchange reserves. So a lot of people are saying, oh, the XRP supply shock is here. There's not enough XRP. That is not true. There's tons of XRP on the exchanges. However, it is true for Ethereum. They only have 17 million Ethereum on exchanges right now. And also for Bitcoin on all exchanges, it is true for them as well. As we can see right now, all-time lows, only 2,454,000. And breaking, the United States dollar has now lost more than 10% of its value this year in 2025. Just in, Google has launched their own open source AI payments protocol supporting credit cards and stablecoins built with Coinbase, the Ethereum Foundation, and over 60 partners per fortune. So they were obviously working on this in the background, now launching it out there. How will this disrupt the market? Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse questions why marketplaces like Amazon have not yet adopted blockchain technology like XRP Ledger for payments.
Amazon today, last time I checked, could only support payouts in 19 different currencies. Amazon is, I think one of the $2 trillion companies, and yet Amazon, their marketplace, which is a huge piece of their business, they can only pay out in 19 currencies. And that is a hodgepodge of integrations around the world, ranging from India to China to the EU. Now, if you think about the implication of that to more tangibly a business, we have had conversations with other networks, other marketplaces like Uber. Uber knows that if they can pay their drivers more frequently, the retention of their drivers goes up. Uber has a big challenge in that people join to become drivers and then they churn out. That means that Uber has to go acquire new drivers. That's not a great thing. Now, some of you probably took a taxi here this morning. When you got out of the taxi, you either paid them in cash or you paid them with a credit card, which frankly would settle in a couple days. In contrast, when you're using Uber, the Uber drivers get paid every 2 weeks. Why is it they get paid every 2 weeks? How can we reduce the friction so every time you get out of an Uber, the Uber driver gets paid? Uber wants that to happen, and despite being obviously a major player, the ability, the friction even associated for someone like that is challenging. Our vision is to truly enable global payments such that you can plug in with one API, and whether you're seeking liquidity, whether you're seeking a payment into a payment network, whether you're seeing a payment to a bank, to reduce that friction such that it is real time and extremely low cost. By doing that, we think we can let RippleNet truly scale to serve a new set of customer demands on demand and real time. Again, we are all witnessing a generation grow up that are sometimes pejoratively described as millennials, they expect real time. They've grown up with the expectation that this is going to be a real-time experience. They can click on their phone and have ice cream delivered in 30 minutes. I do love ice cream. Let's not criticize that. So we can make them low cost. We can truly get a dramatic reduction in the error rate such that there are not failures and deliver an elegant experience both to banks and to their customers.
And this was an interesting post from Digital Asset Investor. What a strange choice of words. As we see here, the dollar succumbs to the blue ripple. This is put out by ING. It says USD, more a blue ripple than a blue wave. Tom Lee just said live on CNBC that Bitcoin will make a monster move in the next 3 months.
The second is monetary liquidity sensitivity, global central banks easing. That's Bitcoin and Ethereum, and seasonally strong. I think they could make a monster move in the next 3 months, like huge.
U.S. to consider retroactive the CBDC ban in the market structure bill. On Monday, the House Rules Committee drafted an agenda showed a proposal to add the text of the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, also passed by the chamber in July, albeit by a narrow margin, to the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act. The engrossment method would add the CBDC bill to the final version of the existing market structure bill sent to the Senate for consideration. House Republicans considered a similar move before the floor vote in July for the Genius Act, a bill to regulate payment stablecoins. Some lawmakers wanted a stablecoin bill to explicitly include a ban on CBDCs before the floor vote, slowing passage before the chamber's August recess. All three bills eventually passed with some bipartisan support. Senate Democrats offered their own framework for the market structure. Both parties' proposals included ways to update regulatory requirements to provide regulatory clarity for the digital asset industry. However, Democrats called for provisions to address what they called Trump's undermining confidence in the broader digital asset industry in reference to Trump's family crypto ventures. Whether Republicans intended to address Trump's ties to the industry through his family's mining venture, American Bitcoin, World Liberty Financial, and his personal meme coin in the bill was unclear at the time of publication. The bill is expected to be heard for a committee vote within 2 weeks. So the House of Representatives may have a shorter legislative path to bar the Federal Reserve from issuing a central bank digital currency by using the market structure bill to pass in July. So it looks like they're trying to ensure that the current Federal Reserve does not have any way at all to issue a CBDC into the United States. Heading over to XRP in the charts, as you can see right now, we've been covering these levels here of support and resistance. These are based on your standard traditional structure. We have our weekly body candle closes here from January 27th. Weekly body candle closes here from August 11th. That gives us the levels here of $3.02, $3.18. So 302 right now is acting as our current level of support. Today's candle has been green. We're starting to surge to the upside. We could see resistance again at 318 as we saw it switch to the daily back here on September 13th. So the new daily candle is officially out. 22 hours and 38 minutes as we continue this move to the upside. What we're really looking for as we zoom out on these charts is the break to the upside and this bull flag pattern playing out. We got our flagpole here, we got our breakout here, and then getting us to that $4.75 area. Long-term momentum has broken back into bullish. As we can see here, we went from red to green, so that's positive news. Short-term momentum has maxed out up here at the 100 level, which is positive. However, we could see a reset to zero before the next surge to the upside. So we'll continue to monitor that as well. Now, when we switch over to our weekly spider lines chart, we'll go ahead and switch from fresh to spider line chart, and we're going to see a couple of different things here. Currently, we're on the standard chart. We're not logarithmic. We're on the 3-day chart. And this is a beautiful sight to see right here. Our 3-day short-term momentum went from red all the way down to the zero level and is green, and it's working its way back up. We do have 1 day, 23 hours left in this 3-day candle that we're currently in. When it comes to our spider lines, we can see we're currently running in directly to a spider line here. And this is the spider lines that come back from 2018 and create resistance and supports into the future. But we're running into this one right now, the $3.05 spider line. The next spider line is going to be 314. Then after that, getting to 328. which coincides very closely with the standard traditional candles as well with the weekly body closes. And that's because of the fact that these are true support and resistance levels that come from historic data points. Now, this does work on every single crypto, depending on how far back you can go. But as we see on the weekly chart, not as exciting as far as our momentum waves. Short-term momentum's on its way, heading to the bottom side to a reset of zero potentially. And our midterm momentum is starting to crave to the downside as well. Now, when we switch back to the logarithmic, we're also going to see some very great styles of support and resistance on the weekly chart. Boom, weekly body candles close on our spider line exactly. We've now pushed above the 10 exponential moving average. Very positive there. Our next level is 355. Back up into our green spider line here. After we break above that one, we'll be surging up into 398. Now, when we check in on our daily support and resistance levels as well here on our supply and demand zones, as you can see, price did get into our supply and demand zone here. This is going to be acting as our last resort before a potential breakdown. That's at 275 zone. And as you can see, we did surge up there. We did recently break through our most recent resistance level supply and demand zone, which is this one here at 307. We are breaking back above that one again today. So we broke through, retested back into our exponential moving averages here. We're starting to move up, looking for a next level of $3.29. We really need to break above this $3.36 level, because then that is where we're going to see that potential of price discovery that we've been talking about. And then can we get to that 475 level?